you're gonna need to research the benefits and where to use these because Roman did and I did not. So that's why I only earned 3% or three
If you
cents for the last several years. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to YBI, where we discuss opinions and strategies on how to better your financial selves. Zion and Roman back in the building, my boy. What's good,
feeling wonderful, making things happen. How you doing?
man? Fantastic, man. There's a lot going on right now, which is why I'm in a different location as usual. But it's a good
He
time. It's a
always
good
got
time.
things going on.
Hey, you gotta keep things
Man
moving,
on
just
something
like your
move.
money. Just like your money, you got to keep moving
Diversify.
around. You know what I'm saying? Diversify. All right. So today we are coming to talk to you guys about our credit cards. We're going to talk to you guys about some of our credit card picks, which of our cards have the best rewards, which ones kind of suck, all of that stuff. Everything credit card today. So we have a running list of things that we are topics and things that we want to talk to you guys about, and we just thought that this would be a good break from some of uh, our you know segments. I guess we have episode segments. We have the M1
Oh
segment, and we
yeah,
have
I had to
we have
invest
a
in
lot of
stuff.
different segments.
Thanks for
Yeah,
investing in
so
stuff.
let's look at credit cards for all the
Yeah.
people that are looking at new credit cards, looking at trying to get their first credit card, looking at which cards have the best rewards, all of
Finance
that
these,
stuff.
vacations. Is going out. Christmas coming up. There's a lot more spending going up right now. Going with prices going up, people are definitely start looking like which credit cards give them the best rewards and things like that again. It's interesting. So we're gonna talk about it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Let's get into it. So let's start way back. Do you remember what your first credit card was?
Yes, I do because I still got it. It was in secured credit card through like Open Sky. Yeah, Open Sky. I hate it.
What is Open Sky?
It's just a secure credit card company. I got like an offer letter from them back when I was in college, and I was like, okay, I could do this. It was like just put like a deposit down for $200. I'm like, oh, I could do that. Put Netflix or my phone bill on there, pay it off every month. That'd be a good strategy. It was a good strategy. It was a great strategy until, and I guess I'll explain this a little bit now. So it's almost harder sometimes to get approved for higher credit limits when you have lower credit limits on other balances. So the credit limit on that credit was like $200. So banks are like, well, you only got approved for like $200 on this one. Why should we give you like 3 grand or 5 grand or 10 grand, whatever? So sometimes it can be harder to get approved for higher amounts if you have lower balances open. So I think I still have that one open now, but now I have my other credit cards are have like a few $1,000 limit so that they balance and cancel that one out almost. But now I just keep that one open just for length of account history. But that was I for a few couple of years it was real bad because I almost couldn't get approved for a lot of things. They were like, "Why do you have this real low balance?" And to get some of those secure credit cards are good and bad. I don't know if really explain that, but secure credit cards are credit cards that you need to put a deposit down for, and that's what locks your credit um, limit in there for. There are some cards that'll after a certain amount of time outgrow that and give you unsecured credit as well, which is credit that you don't have a deposit down for. But Open Sky kind of does not do that. They kind of leave it locked, and it's a really hard process to increase your deposit on there if you do increase the limit. And by this point, I didn't see a need to. So first one, also one of my worst ones, if not actually yeah, the worst one.
Yeah, so to piggyback, my first one was a Wells Fargo secured credit card that I do not have anymore. Um, I had a similar experience. I had a $300 limit with a secured credit card, and it was what they did was they did unlock it after a certain amount of time. So it was, I don't know, like 6 months after I had, continued to make payments and all that, they did unlock it, and then they doubled it. So they took the original 300 and they matched it with 300. So then I had a $600 limit in general. Since then, I've gotten other cards that I realized were a little bit better, and I let that one go a couple years ago, probably before I got out of college. That one's been gone, but that was definitely my first one, and I would say that it was okay in terms of everything. In terms of like the rewards, I don't think they really had any. with a
Yeah,
secured
no,
credit card,
yeah.
I don't, can you get rewards with a secured credit
Yes,
card?
the best one. I guess yeah, we'll bring up our choice for the best secured credit card. At least my choice is the Discover It's Secured one. I
Oh yeah.
wish that was the one I ended up going with, but I didn't. I actually do not even have a Discover card to this day. I have a Discover debit card that I really like that gives me 1% cash back. We'll talk about that maybe. But besides that, Discover It's Secured will give you some. Let me check that real quick because let me see. That's the one you have? Well, you probably don't have to
Yes.
discover it's secure. You have to discover it's secure.
This is not secured.
Okay.
But if you go to the list on NerdWallet, I believe
I
if
think it's
you
probably
just
on there.
Google the best credit cards,
For
I
the
believe that
unsecured,
the
it'll pop up.
best secured
It is
credit
1 to
card,
2% cash back that you get on
yeah,
certain things, depending on like groceries, gas stations. Well, no, yeah, it's 2% at gas stations and restaurants, 1% on all other purchases. So that's a secured credit card, or especially let's say you want to your monthly spending limit for yourself is 200-300 bucks or 500 bucks, whatever. You put that as a deposit on here, and now you're just making cash back on your spending money. So that's not a bad way to do that at all.
what's also excellent about this Discover card in particular is I'm sure you guys have seen the commercials about it, the cash back match after your first year. All of your purchases are getting cash back.
Yeah.
So whether regardless if it's 1%, 2%, whatever it is, you're gonna make all of that money back in one lump sum after your first year. So your first year, let's say that you have $10,000 that you spend on that secured credit card, which is insane. But let's say, let's say that you spent $10,000, and then the cash back match on that is, $200. So that
I don't know
$200
if
is
that
what they'll
math works
match.
out.
Everything was at 2%. Whatever. That's just how it worked out. But everything, no, it'd be 2 grand, wouldn't it? It would be 2 grand. Let's
Yeah.
just whatever 2% is. It's okay. You get the percentage back, and they match it. So if you don't,
That's 200. You were
um,
right at 200.
it was 200. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you're going to get an additional $200 back. That's just free money that you can use on your account. You can use the cash back on that to pay your balance if you have one. You can use it as credit card or not.
You
You can
could
use it as
you,
gift cards.
you probably could if you open up a savings account, because Discover does have a high interest savings account with them. You probably could even roll it over into a high interest savings account and just withdraw the cash if you want to, or have it sit in your savings account and earn high interest. Their interest rate's not the best that I've seen on some other online banks, but it's still higher than the national average. I think there's at like 0.4% right now. It's not bad.
Okay. Now I kind of want to switch. So I had,
Oh yeah,
and
we
I'm gonna ask you the same question.
mm-hmm.
So I made a mistake early on with a credit card, right? Here's my mistake. So I needed a new computer for college, right? So right before I was going to college, I was like, I got to get a new computer, and I got a MacBook Pro, like all the bells and whistles, built it myself, right?
Yeah,
My parents were like, finance it, we'll pay it. So I opened the account in my name, and they're like, hey, we will make the payments for you, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Um, Shortly after that, my father ended up passing away, and I was stuck with the bill for
yeah.
that, which ended up going into default after, a certain amount of time because I was in school, I couldn't afford it, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So early on in my credit history, I had that delinquency on there of, hey, you didn't pay. And I think it was like $1,700 that I had left while I was still in school. But then it was all the taxes, all the fees, blah, blah, blah. So it was like 4 grand that they were asking for this computer. So that was a Barclay card through Apple at the time, because now they have the Apple credit card and all that stuff, which I don't have, and we can kind of get into later, I guess. But
It's a decent one, but you know,
I don't have it. I kind of want it, but
you're in the Apple ecosystem. Tangent.
I am, but
I'm not, so I don't care.
I kind of want it because you can get that instant cash reward. What? Okay, whatever.
Whatever.
The mistake that I made was, so if you're gonna open a credit card, even with the end quote blessing of somebody else that's going to help you, be sure that you can pay off whatever it is that you are purchasing. Like,
Yep.
people say a lot of great things, and obviously I don't fault my parents for that because they helped me get out of that situation, so on and so forth, because it's not on my credit report now, and I was able to bounce back from that. over 700, let's go. It's just like, you have to be able, it's your name that's on it. So
Yeah.
you need to be able to carry your own payments regardless of whoever says what. Unless it's going to be on auto pay from their account, or you've got to have somebody that's going to be responsible enough and has consistent money enough to pay, because those payments were like $300 or $400 a month. And as a college student without a job, and I'm in a completely new state, like I was in Mississippi at the time, and it was just like there's so much that I just knew that I could make those payments. And without the financial backing of my dad at the time, it was just like, what am I supposed to do? So all of that went into default. And that really threw off my credit for so long. For like probably 3 or 4 years, I had to go back and forth
It
with
takes a
them.
while to rebuild once something gets messed up.
Yeah, so for me, one of my downfalls when it came to one of my initial credit cards or credit lines was I that Barclay card, and it was just a hassle going back and forth with them. There was a friggin' lawsuit, like there was a lot of stuff that went into that. So that would be like, that's one of my, like, oh my gosh, I really messed up. And if you don't have to do that, don't get a secured credit card with a lower limit, make payments that, or buy things that that you can pay off. If you go get McDonald's one day and you put that on there, $10 ain't gonna hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get $10, but $300 a month over 2 years is a very different situation to put yourself into. So you got any stories about, just like some missteps that you took when you first got into using credit cards?
I had a couple, one that also involved a MacBook. So
Man, don't get a MacBook early on. Like, don't get a MacBook early in life.
and okay, I justified mine because it was like the field I was going to. It was always Apple, was always in everything. You have to learn to use a MacBook. I was always anti-Apple. Everyone that knows me knows I've always been anti Mac or Apple, the ecosystem for most times. But I was like, you know what? I still have that MacBook actually on this desk. It's still going strong after I have taken it apart a couple of times and rebuilt it, but whatever.
I
But
had to
yeah,
do that to mine too.
similar story. Did the whole you dig, financed it, and then basically couldn't get the help that I said I was going to get, and then fell out and default on there. I paid mine off pretty still. I got back on track a little bit after that once I started working again because I was in school and I was at a time where between my internship and everything, I was not working, so I couldn't just make the payments during that time. But also besides that, I got in trouble with a credit card, not like a store one, because I didn't when I financed my MacBook, I didn't use the Barclays card, and it was like through some other financing I had at the time, but it wasn't that. I don't remember what it was. And then, oh yeah, the credit card was Capital One Journey. I think it was one of the student ones. Then they sent me an offer for it around the same time the Open Sky one. I think a couple months later. But I was like, ooh, I could not afford my books at the time. I needed a bunch of like books I could not get used from anywhere, and I had to get software. And I was like, okay, I need to buy this on something. So I was like, okay, credit card, bam. But then after once I started getting hit with the interest, I could not keep up with the payments. So I ended up going on like the collections with that for a year or so, finally paid that off. I ended up calling and selling them with them, which is a good move for me. But now sometimes I still have to end up paying that off eventually. But I ended up selling it off my credit report. So now it's gone and now it looks a lot better. But I went through, yeah, bad MacBook experience once again for me. And then back credit card.
So that just goes to show, because your credit score is over 700 as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if you can make mistakes early in life. We don't recommend it, and it's not something
No,
that we think that you should
no.
do,
If you can avoid it,
because
don't do it.
we would be over 800 if we hadn't made these mistakes early in life. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So if you don't have to make the mistakes early on with a credit card, don't do it. You can get signed on with somebody, but you just have to have like that financial stability in the backing, and you need to
Yeah.
have a job yourself. So if in case it doesn't happen where they make a payment or miss a payment, you can still cover yourself. So um, let's talk
Yeah.
about some of these other credit cards. Like we
Well,
have,
so we should
so,
talk about authorized users and co-signing a little bit now. So we kind of brought that
go
up.
for it.
So when one way that was, I guess, focused on credit cards, authorized users, you can add someone else's name, or your parents could add you to their account. They might have some parents might have done that for you, where they added your name to their account, and as they made on-time payments, that made your credit score look even better. So some people are like, when they first turn 18, how do they already have a credit score? It could have been because your parents had an account in your name. Could also be from your student loans that you got before you turned 18 when you first got to college, because you do get loans when you do FAFSA. So look at things like that. But besides that, that'll be an authorized user for credit card users that you add in someone's name to your account and vice versa. Co-signing is just they get signed onto your account, and if you can't make payments, they go after them to basically say you have to make payments now. So in case of renting or credit cards, you might have a co-signer, maybe not really. No, there's no co-signers on credit cards, just authorized users, right? Can you co-sign a
You
credit
can
card?
have both. You can get a
You
cosigner on a
can.
credit
Oh,
card.
oh,
It's just you shouldn't. If you need a
oh yeah, huh.
cosigner, don't do it. If you need a cosigner, go get a secured credit card instead. Like
Yeah.
because you're putting up your collateral, that is your cosigner. Your cash is your cosigner, so you don't need to have somebody say that they're going to hop on that for you. But um, other cards that you have and that I have. So we have, I personally have the Discover card, the Discover It card. I have a Best Buy credit card. I have an American Express. I have a Capital One Journey. I have two Credit One
Oh, you got the
accounts.
journey. See,
I
okay,
do have a
he
Journey.
he
Yeah,
did a good job with his journey card. I did not.
yeah, I got the Journey. And then I have HSN. I also have Fingerhut. So I've
HSN.
got a
Oh,
wide array of things. So in terms of looking at the perks and the downfalls of all my cards, I guess I'll run through mine really quickly here. HSN, they're cool, but they don't have any. There's no rewards or cashback or anything, and you can only use them specifically for HSN. Same thing with Fingerhut. We have a whole review on Fingerhut. There's no cashback or
check
anything
that
like
out.
that. Yeah, y'all should go hit that up. But the whole Fingerhut situation is the same thing where you can only use your credit for Fingerhut, but they do give you a lot of different credit options. So that's both of those. Discover It, we've already kind of talked about. It's just like you can get a lot of cash back in your first year and they will match it. You also don't have to have a phenomenal credit score in order to get a secure Discover It credit card or the student credit card. And then they translate, once you're not a student, you can get a different card and all that stuff. Credit One was just, I have two Credit One cards. They are not fantastic with rewards. I don't know if you've had the same experience,
Nah.
but I think I've earned like 3%, like 3 cents in the 3 years I've had the card. Their reward system is,
So
I don't know exactly what it is.
it's trash. It's basically depending on which one you have, because they actually have a couple different cards for Credit One. Most of the time it's on like groceries and gas. And that's honestly
Mhm.
what I use mine for. Mine is literally designated for groceries. So I've actually earned like I've actually earned like 30 or 50 bucks in cash back on it because all I use it
Okay.
for is groceries. But I was like, I'm specifically going to use this card for groceries because that's all because I want to use it for. And that's what it
That
is.
makes sense. So those cards, again, you're gonna need to research what you're gonna need to research the benefits and where to use these because Roman did and I did not. So that's why I only earned 3% or three
If you
cents for the last several years.
There's also on the if you ever look in the app, there's a earn more rewards section. There's certain restaurants and
Yeah.
online stores you can use it for. They give you between like 3 to 20% cash back or something if you use that card. I've never actually tried that yet. I've always just used it for the groceries. But if you decide that you want to try it on that, it might work. It should work. It's on the app.
Yeah, so I have with these cards, I have two of them. I have the platinum and I have what is
Maybe
this?
two.
Oh, I have two platinums. I have
Oh,
two platinum credit one cards.
you have two
One is
accounts?
black and one is silver. Yeah. I have a
Oh,
platinum black and a platinum silver, whatever those mean. So credit one, they send you the little things in the mail and they're like, yeah, oh, one, I don't know if you've gotten these, but the things I get from Credit One will have a check in it, and they'll say like you can deposit this check, right? And a lot of people will just take them and deposit them. But what you got to read is that those are cash advances on your credit
yeah.
card. So if you don't
Yeah.
read, you're going to start depositing this $100 check like you've actually gotten a check from them. No, you did, but you did not. That's
No.
their cash advances are do not do
I've never
cash
gotten
advances.
that. I've
They sent
never
me two,
yeah.
and I get them and I instantly just shred them because I'm like, I know that y'all ain't gonna give me $100, and then the APR on a cash advance is
It's
like
higher.
30%.
Yeah,
It's
it's
something
way higher.
crazy. So beware of
I've
the
never seen
things.
that before.
Yeah, I just
Watch
got one
watch
probably
the
like a month ago.
yeah, watch the things that all credit cards companies send you. A lot of times they'll
Mhm.
send you with something like with the card already in there and try and trick you and say like that your account's already open. Some credit cards offers can be a little in. And those are the ones like the really bad ones like Merrick, Mission Lane, what's
It's a
another
bunch
one?
of stuff
First
I ain't never heard
Premier,
of.
Primer. Yeah, I've done some research into the really bad ones, and those ones are they're bad. When we do a whole episode just on like the worst ones, but yeah,
It's possible. So then I have the Capital One Journey. The Capital One Journey is pretty good. It's a pretty decent card. They give you a decent credit limit, and if you're pretty consistent with your payments, they'll continue to do so. They also have really good cash rewards or cash back on these. Those cash back rewards are pretty similar to that of what is that, Discover, where you can take the money and you can put it right towards your account, or you can get gift cards, or you can use it towards, redeeming a purchase, something like that. So the Journey is definitely one of the good ones. Capital One is a really well-known bank, so they have really good backing and all of that. My American Express, um, I use my Amex, and what's crazy about Amex is this card does not give you a limit to how much you can spend. This card this card is good and bad. So they're like, hey, you can spend as much as you want. If you want to spend 20 grand right now, you can spend 20 grand on that card alone. But you have to pay that off in 1 month. So you don't have a revolving credit limit with them. So when you put your credit score and it says you have revolving credit, that means how much credit total that you have amongst all of your credit cards. So it's like if you have 1,000 on this one and 500 on this one and 500 on that one, so you have a total limit of 2,000. And then it says how much do you owe on all of those. So if you owe $50 on all of them, so that's 150 out of 2,000, which is great. This card does not have revolving credit. So you don't have a $20,000 limit. You have no limit. So it doesn't work in your favor in terms of credit to show like you having
the
credit.
ratio. Yeah.
But it does work in your favor if you use that card and then you pay it off. Then your credit score continues to go up. But in terms of revolving credit, you actually don't have any if you only have that card. Cash back on this card is good. Cashback on this card is pretty solid for me. I've used it for the same type of stuff. I pretty much let my Apple Music go and revolve on that one, and then I pay that off immediately. I have a couple other things that are on there, or if I have to make if I have to make a purchase for like a credit card and they just want to hold, $800 or whatever it is, I'll use the Amex just because, I know that I have all of that, and it doesn't work against me in terms of my revolving credit. It doesn't show like that $800 is actually revolving and that you're using it. So that card is really good, but you have to be smart with the way that you use that one. Just so you don't want, and they also they have higher APR than most other credit cards. So because this one's higher,
Yeah.
you don't want to have anything sitting on this card. Like if you're like, oh man, I might miss a payment, which you shouldn't. But if you miss a payment, that's the worst card to miss a payment on because their interest rates are ridiculous. And my
Nothing
last one is
athlete.
my Best Buy City credit card. The City card is through Best Buy. I make a lot of purchases through Best Buy for various reasons, and their card just gave me a really good amount back, or 0% APR or whatever it was. So that's why I got that one. I was a huge fan of their platform in general, and I like Best Buy. So their
We are not
cashback is
sponsored
very
by Best
average.
Buy.
We're not, but we should be because I love Best Buy.
You remember when I worked there?
Mhm. I ain't get nothing for free. See, you jank.
I,
What you got?
I mean, what you mean?
Your credit
From
card.
Best Buy? Oh, I thought you meant from Best Buy. I'm like, they get a bunch of stuff from Best Buy.
Telling you, Best
Uh,
Buy is lit.
well, as we already talked about, I already have the credit one as well. I use mine very much for groceries every day. I should have grabbed my wallet. I don't know why I didn't just grab my wallet. Also have the Fingerhut one as well. As we were talking about, that is the online catalog based one. I also end up using the self one. I forgot about my self one when we talk about secured ones. So that one started off, that one is still kind of secure, but not secured. At this point, they gave me unsecured credit on top of my secured credit deposit. I think maybe I may have put a security deposit on that one of maybe like $500, and now my credit limit on that one is like at $1,200 or whatever. So I don't know. I know we did the review on self. We're gonna do like a check back in, and right now this is my mini check back in for it randomly. But that's kind of what's going on with that. My loan with them is paid out and closed out, but now they keep increasing the credit limit by like $75 every other month. So I'm just gonna see how high they let it go and see what happens. My other one is the Capital One Quicksilver 1.5 unlimited cash back. Everyone always knows that one. It's the silver one they always got. I just like it for everyday purchases. It gives me unlimited cash back on it. Bada bing, bada bam. My other one for my Capital One, my American Express is their blue card everyday card. Gives me decent points. They have a higher APR. They do give you a credit limit on that one. That one they do have a set one for there, but that's revolving. But besides that, it works kind of like a normal credit card, kind of like they're more like everyday one. I use that one mostly for travel, but I do like it a lot. I do want one of their other ones. I think probably their gold one soon, or their blue cash one. I think that's a really good one, but get into that one. Then that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of mine. That's all of them. I don't have any store cards. I maybe want the Costco one just because I've got a Costco membership and I love Costco, but
Sam's Club is better by leaps and bounds.
I don't know.
I have both. I have both. I have Sam's Club and I have Costco membership, but Sam's Club, Sam, Sam is just a better person. You know what I'm saying? Like Sam is relatable. Costco, you know, I
It
don't know.
costs low. The cost of low a Costco. The cost of go. The cost of low. I'm trying to make
The-
that sound like Costco, but the
no,
costs are low.
nah,
You can't do that.
exactly. You can't because Sam's Club is better. Go to Sam's Club.
There's no Sam's Club by me, my guy.
Yeah, there's a Sam's Club literally right up the street from right up the
Yeah,
street from
because
me.
you're in
But
the
there's also a Costco that I pass to get to Sam's Club. They have different stuff, so
tangent.
I go to different places. None of this matters.
Tangent. Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions for I like another good one that I really do shoot for is the City Double Cashback card. They give you 1% when you buy some, 1% when you pay it off. They've been adding some other like more premium card features on there too. I mean, I'm thinking about that one was on my list of ones to maybe go for. I don't want to add another credit card to my report right now, so I'm really being selective about the next one that I do want to get and which ones kind of balance out for what I kind of need and don't need. Might not even get one, but we'll kind of see what's going on there. I did have, I think Alex, yeah, we just had Alex get this one. She been doing really good with a lot of cash back built up already on it. So it's a great one. I'm trying to think what's another good one out there on the market. The
there's a couple
Chase,
that I want.
yeah, the
Go
Chase
ahead.
Sapphire and Chase Freedom ones are always good cards. They can give you really good bonuses when you first get them, really good points for travel. I think the Sapphire is better for travel. The Freedom's better for just daily rewards on cash and groceries and things like that. So depending on which one you use it for, either one of those two can be really good. And those are two, I would say, for honorable mention, or three from honorable mentions.
For me, I think my honorable mentions or the ones that I want to get next are the Capital One Venture because of the
That's a good
travel
one for
stuff. So
travel. Yeah.
you can get all of the travel stuff. And then the Capital One Saver card. So that one's good for just dining out,
Dining,
eating out, and
saving.
joining.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. You know, when you're in a relationship, it's always that you're going somewhere, doing something, buying food and all that. So that would be the card that you use for that to get the most cash back and rewards for those. One thing that we missed was talking about the fees that are associated with any or all of these cards.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
The annual
so
fees.
most of
Actually,
your
none of my
credit
cards
cards,
have annual fees. None of my cards do.
yeah, most of them won't have one. The credit one, both of my accounts have annual fee. One of them is like $100 a year, and the other one is like $9 a month, something like that. So both of those have one. I think the Best Buy credit card has one that's like 25, $50 a year, something like that. Amex definitely has one. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how much it is.
Oh, yeah. MX does
Um,
have one. Capital usually
Discover
more of your,
does not.
yeah. The no, Discover does not. Discover does not. A lot of the travel ones do, like Capital One Adventure does. The Chase Sapphire does. Um, Bank of America is known for having the annual fees. What other company can I not remember right now? Amex, of course. Chase.
The,
A lot of the Chase preferred, like their black cards and what's have like $300 annual fees, $500 annual fees.
three
The American
hundred
Express Gold,
dollars.
the American Express Gold cards have like up to $600 annual fees, but you get most of the stuff back. But you pay it's like the premium like wealthy cards, but a lot of times you pay the annual fee, but you'll get that back throughout the first year easily, or you get like 3 times that back. So it ends up working out for you. If you're up there spending that kind of money, it comes back.
I don't, I know, I just don't want to spend that much on a credit card. I mean, I think that's one of the things that
We'll
goes
get it back.
into your research of getting a new card.
Yeah.
You research all of the ins and outs. I used NerdWallet when I first like was starting to look at new cards that I wanted to open, and they have little tabs that will just be like, you know what, let me compare this one to this one. This one has better cash rewards, but this one has a lower APR, and this one has this, and this one has that. But you just get enough information to make a decision that's going to be best for you long term, or depending on if this is long term or short term. Are you looking to have a card that you're going to have for the next 20 years? Are you looking to just have something that you can use to start building your credit? Because the one that you
Yeah.
start using to build your credit is not the one that you're going to have long term. Your secured credit card will turn
Well,
into something else, and then you can like move that account from like a secured
yeah.
into an unsecured, and then you can grow up from there. But
And you kind of have to see how that strategy plays out. Because like I would say, I was keeping my Open Sky one up for just for length of account history. There is a part of your credit score. I don't think it's one of the most top rated ones for it, but it is kind of, I think it's like one of the middle ones for length of overall credit history. So if that first credit card you open is a secure credit card, if you want someone that's keeping it open for a couple extra years or so, may even be a little bit better just for giving that length of credit history. Unless you have another one that's kind of close to that, so it doesn't affect it too much. After a certain amount of years, that doesn't matter too much. But when you're first getting going, it might be better to kind of keep those older cards open a little bit longer, unless you're going a Dave Ramsey route and just cutting everything up. Then it doesn't matter.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, let's do that. All of the years that I've used to build all of the credit, and now I'm just gonna cut all of those. Okay, well, good talk. I think that effectively is going to close us out for today. There are a bunch of different credit cards. There, I think that my top one would be my either my Amex or my Discover are kind of my go-to. I'm lying. It's my Amex or my Capital One Journey
My
card.
Capital One
Both of
for
those.
sure. That 1.5%. I've had that one for years and it's always treated me well. I got that one around the same time as my Journey card. Like they involved me, they gave me both accounts at the same time. And then I messed up my Journey account, but my Quicksilver was still good. So that's still going strong.
Oh, see how that goes. Um, so yeah, just keep an eye for new credit cards. One of the ones that I wanted to get into but won't right now is the whole Apple credit card
The
situation.
Amazon one is
Um,
nice too.
there's that. There's a lot of credit cards that are always coming out. There are new banks. There are new, there's always that stuff. Research the banks before you just go choose one. Don't choose one that's like right there. We Credit unions have credit cards too.
They
We haven't
do.
talked about that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Well,
that's a
that's
thing.
because that's more regional. It's regional based. So it
Yeah.
depends on what there are some more not national credit unions, but the regional ones are the ones that might give you the best APR, or maybe the higher credit limits if you go talk to them directly. Because it's like, well, you guys already have my life savings. Why not just give me a credit card against my life savings for 10 grand or whatever? So and you do something like that, you can have that conversation with them, or you can't do that. You can't call up American Express and just do that, or Chase. I guess maybe if you got a certain amount of money you could, but most people can't. So there you go.
So do your research on all of these things. If you're having troubles, you can consult a financial advisor. I don't think that they're
You
going to tell
probably
you to go
should.
get a credit card.
They might. I
But
mean,
it's very possible.
if you talk to anyone at a bank, they'll probably tell you to get a credit card, because if any chance they have to make interest off you, they'll take it.
Absolutely.
But
But
do
yeah,
not carry over balances.
diversify your portfolio. Don't carry over balances. Know what you're getting yourself into. Um, don't do the whole co-signer situation. Be an authorized user on somebody that's got a high limit. Let them hold all of that debt for you. Not really. Just kidding. Pay your bills, people. Pay your
You're
bills.
terrible. You're
Pay
terrible.
your bills. Don't make mistakes like we did. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for us, guys. As you know, we may be young and we may even be broke, but we are always investing. Thank you guys so much for
Peace.
listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
We'll
Peace.
watch you. Hey everybody, thank you for listening to Young Broken Investing. We just want to let you know that these are the opinions of the hosts. They're not meant to be the basis of any security purchases or investments. We're trying to give a little information out there for everybody, and have fun and be safe.